So what I want to do now is do a case study, and I want to talk about Palestine, the situation of Palestine, the genocide in Palestine, and how, particularly talking about media, we've been able to see that change, how change has happened in terms of how the ruling class kind of controls the ideology, right? So, I mean, many of you will be familiar with the events after October 7th when a Palestinian militant group, Hamas, launched an attack on Israel. The Israeli government responded with an all-out war on the occupied Palestinian enclave of Gaza. So to date, Israel has flattened large parts of Gaza, it has killed at least 40,000 people, has engaged in ethnic cleansing, collective punishment, forced starvation, and what amounts to a Nakba, what Palestinians call Nakba, catastrophe, and genocide. What has been the role of the media? I think looking at this very contemporary example, and I only say contemporary in the sense of the latest events, can really open our eyes into some of these kind of operations of these apparatuses that Althusser is talking about. So if we look at, for instance, the role of the media in this genocide as an ideological state apparatus, we can see how the Western media has suppressed coverage of the atrocities. They've used this kind of fake news about Hamas beheading babies and mass rapes, all in order to shore up support for Israel, and they have distorted events. And so, for instance, this article that was written by the New York Times, Screams Without Words, How Hamas Weaponized Sexual Violence on October 7th, is one that time and again was proven wrong. The witnesses they supposedly had said they never, that it never happened to them. The sources were retracted, all kinds of things to prove that, that this story was really, was not a real story, that a lot of what was in this article was not true. And yet they haven't retracted the article. The article is still there. So this is just one example of, since October 7th, a sort of avalanche of news that has acted as what Althusser would call an ideological state apparatus, that the media has kind of produced and reproduced this kind of coverage.